He was not born a hero. He was born an ordinary boy with big dreams and a fearless heart. One day, he saw people crying for freedom, and something inside him woke up. From that moment, Bhagat Singh chose a life of courage, truth, and learning. Every book he read made him stronger. Every tear he saw made him braver. He didn't fight with anger. He fought with hope. His words became light in the darkest times. This is not just his story. It's a lesson in love, courage, and faith. Stay till the end and learn English through his powerful and unforgettable journey. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Refused to Bow. Bhagat Singh was born on September 28, 1907, in a small village called Banga, in Punjab, India. His family was known for bravery. His father and uncles had already fought against British rule. From a very young age, Bhagat saw them talking about freedom. These stories filled his little heart with fire. While other children played games, he dreamed about a free India. When Bhagat was only 12, something shocking happened. In 1919, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place. Hundreds of innocent people were shot by British soldiers. Bhagat went to see that ground. It was covered with blood. He took a handful of that soil, touched it to his forehead, and whispered, "This will remind me what they did to my people." At school, Bhagat was smart and brave. He loved books and stories about heroes who fought for justice. His teachers said, "This boy has a burning mind." He often wrote essays against British rule, even though it was dangerous. When someone asked, "What will you become when you grow up?" he said proudly, "I will become a freedom fighter." Even as a child, Bhagat Singh had no fear. He believed freedom was more important than life. The seed of revolution had already started growing in his heart. Chapter 2. The Fire of Revolution. As Bhagat Singh grew older, his desire for freedom became stronger. He studied at the National College in Lahore, where young minds gathered to talk about India's future. The college was full of energy, full of dreams. Bhagat joined groups that believed India should fight back, not just beg for freedom. He read about revolutionaries from Ireland, Russia, and France. These stories gave him courage and direction. He often said, "Revolution is not born from hate. It is born from love, love for your country." His words inspired many. Soon, he joined the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, HSRA, a secret group that worked to end British rule through bold actions. Bhagat became one of their youngest and most passionate members. When the British police arrested many peaceful protesters, Bhagat grew angry. He cut his hair and beard to avoid being recognized, a huge step for a Sikh boy at that time. This sacrifice showed how deeply he believed in his mission. He started writing strong articles and leaflets saying India needed brave youth, not silence. Bhagat and his friends began preparing for a bigger fight. They printed pamphlets, held meetings, and dreamed of a day when Indians could walk free on their own soil. To him, freedom was not just a word. It was life itself. The fire of revolution had now fully taken over his soul. Chapter 3. The Turning Point. The year 1919 changed everything for Bhagat Singh. He was only 12 when the Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened. Hundreds of innocent people were shot by British soldiers under General Dyer's command. When young Bhagat heard the news, he ran barefoot to the site in Amritsar. What he saw broke his heart. Walls full of bullet holes, pools of dried blood, shoes scattered on the ground. He filled a bottle with that blood-stained soil and brought it home, saying, "This will remind me why I must fight." That day became the turning point of his life. He stopped thinking like a child and started dreaming like a soldier. Every time he saw the British flag, he remembered the cries of those who died in Jallianwala Bagh. While others tried to move on, Bhagat's anger turned into a quiet storm inside him. In college, he refused to wear British-made clothes. He burned them in protest and wore only Indian hand-spun cloth. He told his friends, "We must stop feeding the hands that chain us." His boldness often shocked teachers, but his words had power. He began to write and speak more openly against the British government. He was not afraid anymore. His eyes carried a message. Freedom is worth any cost. Bhagat was now walking the path of revolution, and there was no turning back. Chapter 4. Flames of Revolution. By the time Bhagat Singh turned 16, his fire for freedom had grown stronger than ever. He left college to join the struggle full-time, saying, "Books can wait, my country cannot." His family was shocked, but his mother quietly kissed his forehead and said, "May your courage light our darkness." He soon joined groups like the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, HSRA, young men who believed that freedom would not come through prayers, but through action. Bhagat read day and night, studying leaders like Lenin and Marx. He wanted India to be not just free, but fair, where rich and poor stood equal. When Lala Lajpat Rai was killed during a peaceful protest in 1928 by a police officer named James Scott, Bhagat's heart burned with grief. He said, "This blood will not go in vain." Along with Rajguru and Sukhdev, he planned to avenge the death, but destiny played its game. They accidentally killed another officer, John Saunders, instead of Scott. The act shook the whole country. Some called them criminals. Others called them heroes. Bhagat did not hide. He cut his hair, shaved his beard, and disappeared into the crowd. The British searched everywhere, but found nothing. He walked through the streets like a ghost of the revolution, carrying only one thought in his heart: freedom or death. Chapter 5. The Voice That Shook Delhi. After months in hiding, Bhagat Singh returned, not with fear, but with a daring plan. The British government had passed harsh new laws that silenced Indian voices. Bhagat wanted to awaken the people, not with bullets this time, but with sound, the sound of courage. On April 8, 1929, he and Batukeshwar Dutt entered the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi. They threw 2 harmless bombs into the hall and shouted, "Inquilab Zindabad," meaning, "Long live the revolution." Smoke filled the room, but no one was hurt. Instead of escaping, Bhagat and Dutt stood still, raising their hands proudly. They wanted to be arrested so the world would hear their message. When the police took them away, Bhagat said calmly, "Bombs and guns cannot bring freedom alone. Ideas can." Newspapers across India printed his name. Students, workers, farmers, everyone started whispering his words. In jail, Bhagat refused to bow. He began a hunger strike to demand equal treatment for Indian prisoners. Days turned into weeks. His body grew weak, but his spirit only grew stronger. From his cell, he wrote letters about justice and equality. Even his enemies started to respect his courage. The whole nation began to look up to him, not as a rebel, but as a symbol of India's soul. Chapter 6. The prison walls could not silence him. The British thought a jail could break Bhagat Singh, but they were wrong. Inside those cold walls, he became even stronger. His cell was dark and small, yet his thoughts were brighter than ever. He read books about freedom and wrote notes about truth, courage, and sacrifice. The guards feared his silence more than his words. Every day, people gathered outside the prison gates, shouting, "Inquilab Zindabad." Bhagat's name was now on every tongue, from children in villages to old men in markets. His hunger strike continued for 116 days. He demanded fair food, clean clothes, and respect for Indian prisoners. Many thought he would die, but he smiled and said, "I am ready." A man who fears death can never fight for life. When the strike finally ended, his weak body was celebrated like a victory flag. He had not eaten for months, but he had fed the nation's courage. Even some British officers saluted him secretly, whispering, "This man has a lion's heart." Bhagat knew his end was near. He wrote to his family, "I do not wish to live long. I only wish to live for purpose." The sound of chains could not silence the sound of his dream: a free India. Chapter 7. The Last Sunset. It was March 1931. The air inside Lahore jail was heavy with silence. Bhagat Singh, only 23, sat by a small window, looking at the sky turning red with the setting sun. He knew it was his last evening, but his eyes held no fear, only peace. His friends Rajguru and Sukhdev were beside him, smiling faintly. They had promised to die together for the same dream. Outside the prison, thousands gathered, holding candles and shouting, "Inquilab Zindabad." Mothers wept, fathers prayed, and children sang his name. But Bhagat said softly, "Don't cry for me. Let my death wake up sleeping hearts." He wrote his final letter. "I am proud to die for my country. I hope my blood will water the roots of freedom." He then hugged his friends and laughed, saying, "They can only hang our bodies, not our ideas." At 7:30 in the evening, the three walked calmly to the gallows. The guards' hands trembled. Before the rope tightened, Bhagat shouted, "Long live the revolution!" His voice echoed through the prison walls. When the news spread, India stopped. Shops closed, flags were lowered, and even the sky seemed to mourn. Bhagat Singh was gone. But his courage became immortal, burning forever in the heart of India. Chapter 8. The Immortal Flame. When Bhagat Singh was gone, India did not forget. It awakened. His death spread like fire across villages and cities. People who had never met him cried as if they had lost a brother. Children carried his pictures, and men and women shouted his name in the streets. Farmers left their fields to join protests, and students left their classrooms to demand freedom. Newspapers called him the hero of the nation. Even those who once feared revolution began to believe that courage could defeat an empire. Bhagat's writings from prison were read in secret meetings. His words about truth, justice, and equality became lessons for every Indian heart. Years later, when freedom finally came in 1947, many said, "It was Bhagat Singh's spirit that led us here." His photograph still hung in schools and homes, reminding people that freedom was not given. It was earned with sacrifice. Today, he lives not in stone statues, but in every Indian who dares to speak truth, who dares to dream beyond fear. Bhagat Singh's body died young, but his idea never did. His fire became India's light, a light that still shines wherever someone says, "Inquilab Zindabad." Thank you for watching this beautiful English story of Bhagat Singh. His life reminds us that real strength comes from love, not fear. If you liked this video, please click like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Glorious English, where real stories help you learn English with emotion, heart, and meaning. Tell us in the comments. Which part of Bhagat Singh's life touched your heart the most? Keep watching, keep learning, and keep shining with glorious English.